Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this world. Greetings to all of you. My name is Rachna Khanna, and I want to welcome you to another inspiring episode of the Daily Life Hero podcast. Today, we have an extraordinary honor of welcoming a truly remarkable guest. I'm going to share her name very soon, but something about her. She is not just a public speaker. She is number one best-selling author on Amazon for her powerful book, Confront, Reclaim Your Life. She is also an accomplished life coach. She's a beacon of hope and transformation, a testament to her ability to touch lives and inspire change. She was recognized as a finalist in the Oz Mumpreneur Awards for both the Author Award and the People's Choice in Health and Wellbeing. She does not stop there. She has also earned honorable mention as the Author of the Year and has been nominated for the prestigious Able Golden Book Awards. I feel absolutely honored that she is with us today as a guest, the daily life hero. Her impact resonates beyond the written word. She has contributed to the inspiration compilation Women Making a Difference and has been cherished guest on numerous radio shows sharing her profound insights and wisdom. And she also celebrated maybe her 22nd year journey with her husband or more. She can tell us. Today, we recognize her incredible personal and professional journey. My guest, my dear friend, my lovely and inspiring woman in this world, in this show, right here with me, Kabinga. Kabinga has graced the pages of Leadership Unpacked magazine and has captivated audience at speaking conferences like Stories That Stir. I am so thrilled to have her here with us today on this show, where she will share her journey, her triumphs, and the powerful lessons she has learned along the way. Please join me in giving a warm and enthusiastic welcome to my guest, Kabinga Mazava. Welcome. Woohoo, yeah, welcome, Kabinga. I am so thrilled to have
Thank you so much. You mentioned all that. I was like, did I do all that?
you. And as always, you're very humble, very modest, and you're always so warm, Kabinga. And I'm so grateful that you said yes and you're here to inspire so many people.
Oh, thank you. I hope I can do that.
Of course. Thank you so much. And before we begin actually getting to know you, I really want to know you. Who are you? What do you do? How do you get to inspire so many people?
Who am I? That's a question I was asking myself 30 years ago. Who am I? Now I know who I am. It's just the ordinary me, Kabinga Mazaba. I was born Shalin Kabinga. Kabinga was my surname, so I adopted Kabinga as my first name just to keep in memory of my father's name anyway, just to keep a legacy of that.
Mm,
And this is me, Kabinga. I just love just inspiring people, just help them discover who they are, and just to get to love who they are despite all the flaws that or challenges they may be facing. So that's me. So despite everything that I've done, I still just to be me. I think whatever I've done is just part of the journey that is on me.
mm,
But other than that, I'm just an ordinary person.
mm.
Yeah, a mom, a wife, a friend, a cousin to many. Yeah. So just me, just an ordinary person.
Yeah, ordinary doing extraordinary work every day and inspiring. So I would love our listeners to know you. Tell us your
Yes.
story. How did it all started? What were your experiences like? And then we'll talk about your book.
Oh, my childhood experience has significantly shaped who I am, both about pain and profound growth. So, as I'm sure you read part of my story, so just for the viewers listening, from the age of 6 and 9, I was abused, I was molested. And coming from a cultural background, it's a culture that in the 80s, it wasn't recognized to talk about any sort of any abuse. That was a taboo. And culturally, you have to keep silent. Families are scared, or maybe they'll be pointing fingers at them and pointing fingers at her. So probably they had to keep silent, either to protect me or protect themselves, the fear of what people would say. And at the age of 11, unfortunately, I lost my father in a plane crash. And then on, my father's family disowned me, wanting nothing to do with me. And in the 80s, where I come from, we had property grabbing. So any head of the family that passes away, his family had to grab every property. There was no law against that or anything. His family had rights to grab everything. So that's what they did. They left my mother and I with nothing. So I never saw them in my growing up. And until now in adulthood, I have no connections with them. And being raised by a single mother, my mother was quite young when my father died. There was a big age gap. I came to realize that my mother was in her 20s when she became a widow. And you can imagine a 20-year-old plus or 22, 23-year-old raising a single child. Of course, she's working, but she's still young as well. So she had a lot, of course, a lot of trauma as well, and a lot of undealt issues. So emotionally, she was absent in my life. So I was to dwell and live and raise myself emotionally. And raising yourself emotionally becomes you develop this at a strong age where silence becomes your to go to. Never express your emotions, never talk about it because it's a shameful thing. When people hear what happened to you know how people be talking culturally and stuff. So my mother was present. Teenage years, I became suicidal. I nearly took my life because life was just too much. I just couldn't handle it. And eventually, I got married. My husband was a savior to me, but still I was holding on to a lot of pain, a lot of anger, a lot of unforgiveness that I never spoke about because I was raised from a younger age, from the age of 6, that silence is strength. So you don't have to say anything. Anything that is a taboo, not. So I grew up. By the time I got married, my husband never knew anything what happened in my childhood. But it took a toll from me, especially when I lost my mother. She was 41 when she passed away. And because I had a lot of unresolved questions and anger within her, because I wanted a lot of answers from her, but I couldn't. Unfortunately, she passed. So now I was left to dwell and deal with those emotions within myself. I was like, okay, I've lived all this life with silence, never talk about it. So why should I talk about it now? But as we all know that the body keeps the score.
Yes.
And once it keeps the score, it comes a time when it can't handle it anymore. It just takes a toll on everything. I think I had a really bad panic attack in my late 30s.
Mm.
Because all these years, you can imagine, I never spoke about it. So I
Mm.
was hiding it. Never believed that trauma, yeah, trauma is there. What is it? I don't know what it is. Just move on a hamster wheel. Yeah, everyday life, but you're actually wondering, like, why am I not achieving what I wanted to achieve? Why am I behind? Why am I late in this? I want to achieve this, but I can't. But there's always something that keeps us. And I always say that no one graduates from the past. The past will always follow us until we find the courage to address it,
Wow.
to confront it, to acknowledge it and accept it. So that time when I had a huge panic attack that landed me in an emergency room, there was that heavy fear of me that's me,
Mm.
and I could feel of death looming in me, telling if you don't change right, I'm gonna leave in the next coming year, because I had this fear that I was carrying a family curse. My father died at the age of 40 in a plane crash. My mother died 41 and the 40s, and I knew that I died too. But for me to change generational curse, something has to be done. How about I try to get everything I've been running away from my life? How do I make peace with it? How do I tell peace? And this thing has been eating me up. But courage is one element to love. And I took the courage
Mm.
by just speaking up, especially to my husband, getting help,
Mm.
and healing started from there. So doing the very thing that I was scared
Mm.
has saved me. I mean, who I am now, where I have a voice, it relates to somebody who's going through the same thing. Try to inspire them. I can try to motivate them. I can try to sit down and go through things, because the past, no one graduates from it,
Mm.
but you're going to be comfortable with it. So you move along with it because it's going to be with you no matter what. But you're going to, all it wants is just acknowledgement that, yeah, you've been through that, but you can make use of the past, and your past can be your superpower at the same time. So that's been my life in short. Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to take a moment here to just be with you and
Yeah.
acknowledge you that it's a lot. Yes,
Yeah.
I did read a book. When you hear from someone who have gone through those pieces in their life, which meant so much at that point of time, it's a lot. Kabinga. Thank you for sharing.
For life. You're welcome.
Thank you.
That's a journey called life. Yeah.
And what a transition. What a transition that, I remember this one of the frameworks that I work above the line, below the line. And there are so many of us who are pressed under the circumstances that I can't do this because what do you know about my life? Of course, we don't know about your life. But coming from here, that I want to take that courage and responsibility for me, that is so powerful. That is so powerful. Thank you so much. I am beyond grateful that you have shared this with us today. And this is so powerful. This is so powerful. And it is nothing short of having those golden moments and golden nuggets that you may have created over the period of time and now for your kids, and have the courage of telling your husband that, you know what, this is what is happening. I want a life where I can inspire my children, and transitioning into a brand new version of you. Wow. I can't stop myself. I have to do this.
That's okay.
This is so beautiful. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. And you deserve so much more, Kabinga. Is it okay if I ask you another question related to, of course, your journey? Is that okay?
That's okay.
Thank
Any
you.
question?
Thank you. I remember you telling us that you realized when you had that panic attack, you realized that there is something not right and body keeps the score, and you wanted to come out of that. How was that first realization? When did this land in your heart that you want to share your story?
Oh wow. It's it's one of those moments which sometimes when I explain to people fail to understand. In that moment where you've been asking a lot of questions all your life and no one was able to answer them. And you reach a certain point and say, I'm done. I just surrender. Whatever life gives me, I just need someone to answer me. I was, I'm a strong believer in God, faith. And I was just asking, I just want you to speak to me one day. Just speak to me. What do you want me to do? There's this age. I share a point in my story that there was this age that came over me. It was very electrifying that I can't even explain, but it was this moment where forceful, but yet gentle and kind and loving at the same time, telling me that for one to be better, one must master thyself. And for me, that was, I even get goosebumps every time I talk about it because
Average.
it's that moment where everyone at certain time in life experience that energy, that power that somebody has been watching over you or guiding you. And now this is the time. Before it wasn't the time, but this is the time. And when this was the time, I couldn't even know, I couldn't even control myself. I just said, I'm just going to dive in. It's like those words came with so much love and so much comfort and so much courage in it that I thought I didn't have. And I became into the journey. It says, for one to be better. And it's true, if you are to be better, you got to know yourself first.
So true.
Who are you? I have to go to the core. Who am I? Am I what my past says? Am I what people think? Who am I? So I got into the deep of self-mastery, what it is all about. And the number thing is in self-mastery is acceptance. You have to accept who you are. Everyone has flaws. No one is perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. You got to accept your flaws and look at them and say, so what? Everyone's got those ages. And those ages is what makes who I am. It's what makes me. And how do I use that ages to have a voice for somebody else who wants it? Because I believe we go through challenges, such challenges, each person, the challenges they go through.
Mm.
Your superpower, that's your purpose. You have to help somebody else. You might think, yeah, it's not fair what happened to me. Yes, it wasn't fair. No one should. I held on to everyone should be held accountable. Everyone gets, the universe pays somebody at some way, but you have the choice now to choose, how do I reclaim my power back? I will reclaim my power by knowing who I am, loving who I am, despite what anyone thinks. And I think that's the most powerful thing. And that's in hospital when I had that was the most profound thing. I said, I gotta start first with me. I've gotta love me. I've gotta surround myself with me. Put that second and say, okay, this is me in the middle. Everything I want. The letters confront was around me. I'm in the center. The word confront is in around me because each letter symbolizes areas I struggled in. And I believe those are universal areas that everyone struggles in.
Mm. Mm.
I
Wow.
don't know if I answered your question.
Of course. And there were so many points or golden nuggets, I like to call it golden nuggets in between that you touched upon that there is a time in life that you come, what is my purpose? Who am I? And you were seeking those answers. And I did not touch upon the fact that, that thought that arrived in your mind that this is too much and I don't want to live any further. And that want, that desire, that goosebump moment that you gave it to us, that I want to know what is it. That's it. I stop settling for small things. I stop here because I really want to know what is going on. What's my purpose? What a defining moment. What for us, it is giving me goosebumps. It's you been there, you were there when you all these thoughts, all these fears, anger, frustration, questions which were just going on in your head, and that voice, that blessing, you're meant for more, and you're meant for so much more, and you did it. And your book is a testimony of that. It is helping so many people around the world. I keep seeing your post where people are really liking what an amazing book, which inspires not only for self, but for the people that they live with. I can't wait to talk about the book anymore. But just before I go there, I just wanted to say one more time, thank you for sharing because it takes a lot of courage to come out and share your story. And you're just one beautiful human who is not shying away to share your love for the people that I have been there. Anybody can jump off, come from below the line and above the line. So that is such a beautiful story. Not beautiful as much as inspiring. That I want to do it. I want to do it. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome. Thank you.
And now we understand who you are and what was that moment that you realized. I was wondering that through this period after you shared with your husband, what was the transition like? What the transition looked like? Because, hey, it's not easy. Having said that, yes, I realized I had that moment, but that journey of transition can be. I want to hear about that. What were the tools? What were some resources that you had, and how did you play all those roles as well? You're a mom, and if I'm not wrong, you were studying as well at that point of time. I want to know that. How was the transition? What were the tools and resources you had with you? Or maybe you're still using.
Oh, yeah. Tools I have during my transition, especially the most important, most of us underestimate is the of family. So you have family members who are really, I had my husband all the time because now he understood how I was behaving the certain way, patterns of
Mm,
behavior, how my moody habits. Now I get it. Before I didn't know why you were doing certain things, but now I get it. For
mm,
me, for him, that was a relief to say, okay, I'm going to support you in whatever journey you want to make. I told him that this is what I want to do. I want to go back to school. I want to write a book. I want to be a life transformational coach. I want to be a public speaker. Now, when you look at that list, all those that I've said, a person who's lived over 30 years with no formal education, just being a mom. Yes, I did small jobs, little things that I was comfortable with, only
mm,
things I was comfortable with. I could babysit, I could do laundry for other people, I could cook, I could do cleaning jobs because that was my comfort zone.
mm.
Now imagine change is such a challenge because if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yep, so true.
But my support, my family, my husband was my go-to. Says, where do you want to start? because I had kept a journal for so long, writing everything within me, and eventually it turned into a book. So journaling helped me. It was one of my strongest ones. It still is my tools today. I use all the time. So I've got an electronic one on my phone where I just punch things. I said, oh, if a thought comes in, I said, hold on, don't go with thought. I need to write it down right now. It's my goal to express myself every now and then. So after 30 years, I had to go back to school. Okay, what do I need to study? I want to study anything to do with counseling, anything that has to understand patterns of behavior, and so I can help others on a deeper level. So I put in certificate 4 in mental health. I had to start somewhere. But before that, I was working, I did aged care and disability. So I was working in aged care. So at least now, okay, I've got a job, I can do this. Let me scale it up one step ahead. So I kept on adding on to something. But at the same time, I was writing my book, studying, writing a book, being a mom, working, everything at once. And I said, oh, I've always been good with juggling things in my life. I can do this. So journaling, it helped me have a mindful decision. My family helped me. I had I had to choose good friends. I had to choose a circle of friends, because that is another tool which you need to have. A good circle of friends. Find a mentor. Find a coach. I had my counselor. My counselor was one amazing woman. So we had goals. We set up goals. What I want to do. Okay, these are achievable. You can do this. You can do this. Okay, can you juggle this? Yes. Okay, let's do that. So I had somebody to keep me accountable for what I was going through, but mostly audit to myself and say, okay, I'm going to give myself the new me. I promised my husband I'm going to give you a new wife, the wife you've always wanted to. So I'm going to work through that person and just enjoy myself. So those tools are important. Have a coach, have a mentor, have a counselor, anyone who can help you along the way that understands what you've been through.
Wow. Yeah, this is so beautiful. And I'm so wanting to call your husband and just give a hug to him. Thank you for being you. Thank you. Go you. Because if you have that support that I'm there, go whatever you want to do it, I think you can even fly. And I'm so grateful to your husband that he did what he could. Kudos to him. And I'm celebrating you and him. What he did was amazing. And he's continuing to do, and you are continuing to do along with him, which is so beautiful. And I loved what you said. I like to call it we are sum of five people. Choose your people, choose your tribe. Because somebody who is not there to encourage you, support you, they're not your people. If they're pulling you down, they're the light. Thank them for the light and move on. Because I'm not here to go back to my life. I'm here to move forward. And that's what you said. And that's what you are showing that
Yeah.
you don't have to do this alone.
Yeah.
There are people who can help you, counselors, life coaches, anybody who you think can do it. There are people who are really daily life heroes, like your husband, like yourself. You did not know all these things, but you had the courage of that. I want to do this, and you did it. And look how beautiful journey looks like now. Everything worth it. So thank you for sharing that. I loved it. So journaling was another thing, and why I'm repeating this because I really want the listeners to know that writing helps so much that now we have such a beautiful creation by Kabinga is the book. All you have to do is just write what you're feeling in that moment. And because when you write, you have the answers. It just directs you automatically. Your unconscious become conscious and you have the answers. And that is one beautifully that you described, Kabinga, that this is what I did. Any thought, I was mindful, I wrote it, whether it was electronic device or whether it was pen and paper, just do it. And that's so beautiful. That is a beautiful tool, and I love it. I still do it, and I will continue to do it. As I do not know if I mentioned this before, that I will very soon write a book. When I do not know, but I know I will, and I will. And all the notes, when I look at it, and I thought, oh my God, there is so much story in this. So
I know. Yeah.
thank you for inspiring me at another level.
You're welcome.
That is beautiful. Now, I another relatable question is the transition, as you mentioned, was not easy, but you made sure that you were accountable to what you were doing. You sat with your counselor and made goals and achievable, realistic goals, making sure that yes, you can do it, being a multitasker as well. There are times in between that you would want, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Why am I doing it? What inspired you in that moment when you like, I'm too tired to do all this? What was the major influence in your life? What shaped you in that transition? And you came out and you reminded yourself, I want to keep doing it.
Yeah, I think we know the old saying that where they talk about know your why, know your why. But even if you know your why must go deeper, must go deeper. Why do you want to do it? I want a better life for myself. Why do you want a better life for yourself? I want peace of mind. I want freedom. I want fear. I want to get rid of fear. But like I said before, if change was easy, everyone would be easy to do it.
Yep, so true.
But we all have that moment where we feel the fear
Mm.
because I came to understand that fear was stopping me from experiencing all the love in the world,
Wow.
everything that I wanted.
Wow.
And because if you take off fear from your life, all you have is love, you
That's it.
know. So fear stops you from you're scared, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not qualified, I'm
Mm.
not smart enough, or it's too hard.
Mm.
It's too hard because our brain doesn't know what is right, what's wrong. We just feed it whatever it is and then it gets it. So for over 30 years plus, I lived with limiting beliefs. I had a deep ocean of limiting beliefs. I can't do this. I'm not qualified. I'm not smart. I know all the excuses in the world. You can have all the excuses in the world, but you're still going to get the same results if you still stick to the same excuses. But you have to ask yourself, why do you want it? Do you really want it? Because if you really want it, that should be fire enough, even it should be enough just to light a little flame within yourself to say, you're going to do it.
Mm.
And along that is have the courage to change what you can, what you can't, just let it go.
Mm.
It's all about wanting to move forward, is just having the courage to change what you know you can change and what you can. And the number one you can change is you. Can't change anything else, but you have the power to change you. So start with you. When you change you, everything, your body is like now driving under the fuel of love. And
Mm.
when it's driving under the fuel of life, any footsteps that comes along the way, it's just like, I can still carry on.
Yeah.
It's just moving. Like I talk about self-mastery, know who you are. What do you want? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are you good at? What are you not good at? What can you let go? Just start with you because you can control you, you can change you. The rest is secondary. That can come later. That's it.
Oh my God, that was such a beautiful way of putting it across. Change is difficult, but it's you who have the mastery, do the self mastery. And I love change is inevitable. Change is going to happen whether you like it or not. So make a choice, make a conscious choice, and become who you are, become who you always wanted to be, and choose you. What a beautiful way of putting across. And I loved another thing that you said, that have the courage to know you, go deeper. It's sometimes I remember somebody telling me then, oh, why can't I be happy all the time? There is something called pain and pleasure. We have to balance that out. You cannot have one thing because the opposite is equally true.
Yeah.
You make a choice, and that beautiful nugget that you gave us, fear exists in the absence of love. If there is love, fear has no place. So that was
Has
so beautiful.
no-
Wow. Courage, absence of love is fear. Fill yourself with love. Fear will disappear because you're just right here. Hi. That was
Yes.
so beautiful. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much. I love it. And I was very keen. I already know it, but just for our listeners, what do you think is the importance of having your values? Because I know your goals are driven by your values, but most people don't know their values. What do you have to say on that? And how can one discover their values if you could help us?
Ooh, that's very actually it was just this week I was talking about it with my husband about values and says you see how our choices and decisions. So I was saying about values, I was saying that values are the foundation of who we are and how we navigate life. They shape our decisions, they guide our behaviors, and they influence how we interact with others. One, give direction and purpose. They give us direction and purpose. So, how do you know your values? What are the things that you value? Or, for example, if you value respect, how do you want to be respected?
Mm,
Do you show respect to yourself? Or what does respect mean to you?
beautiful.
What is your definition of respect? When you look at empathy, if empathy is your value, like how do you use it in your daily life?
So powerful.
How do you even show empathy towards yourself? Because we are so critical of ourselves. Do you give yourself a break and say, come on, give yourself a break,
Yep.
show yourself some love?
Yeah.
So they are the foundation of who we are, and they decide how you want to change.
Right.
How do you want to move on? How do you want to live your life? What goals? And when you set your goals, your values will guide you through your goals if they're strong. If they are really your values,
Mm.
just push you to achieve those goals. Authenticity is my thing. So I say, you're going to be real.
Yep.
It is what it is. What is what you get.
Mm.
Perfection doesn't exist. Excellence is a process.
Oh,
So if you want to have that excellence in your life, it's a process. You're going to start somewhere and it's a learning curve. Every stage of life, you learn. So they guide our decision making. So if you're authentic, you're going to do whatever you're making decisions, you're going to be passionate, you're going to be authentic in everything. There's no buttering stuff or sugarcoating stuff. It's just, it is what it is. If it's not right, you're going to speak up, it's not right.
true. Yeah.
So responsibility and reflection, it's one thing like I value is like you're gonna be responsible. You're gonna reflect and say, is it the right thing? Is it the wrong thing?
Mm.
And have the power. You are the only one who have the responsibility to change that. No one can change it for you.
Right.
It just helps us to navigate everyday life. And it helps you even to trust your own instinct and say, okay, trust. First, do I trust myself? Do I trust my instinct?
Mm.
So values. I know a lot of people talk about values and says, write them down. What do you value? Is it empathy? I don't know what other values you can add up to. Is it consistency? Is it determination? I love challenge. Challenge is my values. Give me a challenge. I perform better at challenge.
That is so powerful. That was so powerful, Kabinga. I loved how you have elicited all the values, and it was in itself a mini coaching session. What is it that you want? What are your values? Most people don't realize this. People don't respect me. People don't listen to me. People don't love me back. And that was such a beautiful way of putting it across. And he said, yes, that's why people struggle in knowing their own values, because if those are high values, what is it that you're giving it to yourself? Are you respecting yourself? Are you loving yourself enough? That was a beautiful. I loved it when you said every moment, every value you were describing. I said, that's it, that's it, that's it. That was so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm loving our conversation, and I hope our listeners do love it when they listen to it and they just share their love with us. And I hope you are also enjoying it.
I am. I'm having fun.
Thank you. All right. So this was beautiful. I absolutely loved it. And I was wondering, when did it click? I remember you telling us that you were studying, you were doing your certificate in mental health, you started working also, and you were writing. When did that idea come to you that you actually want to now transition yourself in writing a book? When did that happen? How did that resonate and hit in your heart?
Oh, yeah, that's a powerful moment. Just to share something really interesting.
Yeah.
I hated reading books. Yeah, I was guilty for that because I had this fear they were going to tell me something I'm not ready to hear.
Wow.
Yes. So anything that was going to be on my face or challenge me, that was a no. So I avoided books as I don't want to learn. I just want to stick to my old mind. It's a guilty mind. It was a feel sorry for me mind. Look what I've gone through. And that moment came for me of writing a book when I realized and told myself that you're going to forgive yourself first.
Mm.
Because I was waiting, I was a type of person who, because I was such a people pleaser, I thought I was going to be good enough by being a people pleaser, by showing everyone that look how good I am, I'm kind, I'm generous, I can do this. Oh, look at me, I'm such a good girl growing up and said. But I realized like for me to change, I'm gonna do something that I was always scared for. So everything I've done is a thing I was always scared for. So writing a book was like, whoa,
Wow.
am I qualified enough? Do I have the knowledge to do that? But actually, the more because I was journaling before and going through that, I was like, this is a book. I had all the knowledge and qualifications within me already. It's my life story.
Wow.
And the stories around I've gathered from people just listening and what my husband has gone through, what I've been through. Um, I know all that stuff. So how about I put it on a book? But I know the challenge was how do I start an intro? What do I call the book? What is it gonna be about? And that name came after because my book was going to be anything to do with people pleasing because I was such a people pleaser.
Mm.
So I wanted something to do with people pleasing. And then another light bulb moment came and say, confront, reclaim your life. I was like, wow. Confront. It's like it was written on the wall right in front of my eyes. I could see it. And it says, oh, confront. I'm going to make confront each area I struggled in.
Wow.
So the seed is challenging limiting beliefs. It starts from there. So for me, writing a book was such a profound, and that's my first baby. That's my beautiful baby. And I know how much hard work went through it, sleepless nights. And that's where I started even discovering more of my values, how strong I was in certain areas. I was like, I'm a very determined person. When I start something, I don't stop it.
Mm.
I need to see the result of it.
Of course, of course. When I think of my journey, I think every step I have taken, I have treated it like a baby. And this book is more than that. Of course, it is your first baby. because this is a gift, if I'm not wrong. You give it to you, that you wanted to give it to you to inspire others, that people can know that they have the power within. Wow, what a beautiful way of sharing it to the world, that you will be scared. There would be a lot of fears. There would be a lot of doubts. Can I write a book? You will doubt about your self worth. You will doubt about your education. You have everything within you. You got this. This is so beautiful, Kabinga. I am so loving our conversation. I want you to tell our listeners, and tell anybody who may be just thinking about their life, oh my God, I can't do anything. What part of your book that they can just pick it up and you would strongly encourage and recommend? Read that part, and it'll give you some step to move forward. I would love to hear that.
Ooh, what chapter? Because when I was writing the book, my intention was I wanted anyone to start from anywhere to read the book. And I wanted a self-help book, a transformational book where anyone can pick up any chapter and purchase them, and they don't have to say, oh, I need to start from the beginning or anything. I wanted something everyone can have as a tool in their shelf where you can go back to. I've had people say, oh, I've gotten back to it, or I'm reading it the third time. So I think it should be, I think, part two,
Mm.
power of recognition, transforming your life by identifying the forces holding you back.
Wow, that's a powerful one. I know now. I remember.
Yes. So it's just understanding what are the fears holding you back? Why do you have those fears?
Mm.
When did they start?
Mm.
And that's the most scary part, because we don't want to look vulnerable or to be seen we don't have it together.
Mm. That's a big one.
Yeah. We want to be portrayed we're strong, we have it all together. And the idea of having mental challenges no one wants to face or want to talk about. But everyone's got mental challenges. We all got some challenges in our life, but everyone has the choice. Do you really want to get rid of those challenges? There's only one way. You're going to face them. You can't run away from your past. You can't run away from your own shadow.
Nope.
That is your shadow. So you're going to be comfortable to stand in your own shadow and embrace it and acknowledge it and accept it. It's part of who I am, but wherever I go, that shadow is going to be with me. But this time, I choose to go with it in love, full of self-validation, full of acceptance, and say, it's who I am. Because when you do that, everything becomes easier. The idea of I have no confidence, I have no self-esteem, people pleaser. But when you dwell in love within yourself first, when you accept yourself, all those things just become like, I know who I am, I know what I want. If you have the right to do that, I have the right to do that. Everything just comes into place. And for me, I always said that was the most profound way, because it drawing lines and having boundaries became easy once I knew who I was, what I wanted.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. This takes me back little before this conversation started. You know how you said that you hated books. Hate is a very strong word. I know that. It
I
also
know.
it also reflected that what we try and avoid, that I don't want to have it, there is a lesson in it. There is a light in it. And I loved how you just very craftfully mentioned it, that I did not want to read books because there was something I knew they will ask me to change and I was not ready to accept it. And when you just sat with yourself and said, no, I can do this and I want to do this and I can, because I have all the knowledge. This is my story. I can share it. There is no one who's going to object to my story because that's my story. And I loved how you just went ahead in spite of other things. And now this chapter, which puts you on a surface that, hey, this is who you are. What do you want? Scratch. It's like bathing to a level that you feel, this is soft, this is nice, this is gentle. This is where you're scratching your surface to go deeper and know what you want, what you are here for. And I will relate it back to how you said it. You discover your why several times enough that you're so close that fear is not there. It's just love that you will do it no matter what. That was so beautiful. So beautiful. And I strongly encourage our listeners, pick a copy and start living. Start living the way you have always envisioned. Start living the way you've always wanted. This is a book of love for yourself. Thank you so much. And sorry, I know I'm going on and I'm loving our conversation. There are two, three more questions for us. And I would love you to share with us how's your journey going after writing a book? How's your life changed? How does it look like? Are your kids, family, your sum of five people? How's it going? Tell us.
Ah, my life has been amazing. Last year, especially when the book came, oh my God. Of course, I still had some fears. The idea of speaking about it or people asking me, I said, I'm just going to put the book to the world and just, there you go, read it. I don't want to speak about it, but the book made me, the intention that I had put in earlier on, my goals was to become a public speaker.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, how am I going to do that? Because watching amazing speakers speak on stage, how am I going to do that? And like we said, if you want something, you're going to learn it.
Hmm.
So I'm a quick learner. That's one of my values. I discovered that I'm a quick learner. I'm a visual learner, so I can watch somebody's body language and says, okay, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that.
Hmm.
And my book prepared me to launch it on stage. And that was the first time I said, okay, how do I put a 300-page book in 10 minutes?
Tough.
In
Hmm.
minutes.
Hmm.
I learned a few tricks. I think I attended one 5-day challenge on how to craft your speech.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what we're saying, that if you want it, you're going to find ways to learn it.
Yep.
It's uncomfortable. It's too much. I would rather run away, but you're going to face it. The more you face it, the more it becomes easy and say, oh, why was I even scared of reading this? Nah, I can do that.
Yeah.
So that propelled me to become public speaker, international speaker, motivational speaker. So last year I did a lot of speaking from one speech. People who watched me recommended me for that and says, she's a powerhouse. When she speaks, she's going to break you down.
Oh,
In a good way, not in a bad way.
of course, yes.
So I've really embraced speaking and I love it. And
Oh.
I think there is more power because somebody doesn't want to read the book,
Hmm.
but you can use that as a storytelling and just in a loving and inspiring and motivating way to help somebody say, oh, okay. And just bring that as self-awareness into somebody and say, I can help, I can do this. So that's been my life. It's been awesome. Then from there on, I think, how many speaking gigs did I did last year? I did a lot. I didn't even know where I found the time. Yes, I collaborated with another book,
Hmm.
which is out. Then another book I collaborated is coming out this year.
Wow.
I'm
Hmm.
writing my second book. I'm doing my bachelor's in counseling.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot going on. I've been selected to go and attend a university conference full of psychologists and counselors. So I was like, oh yeah, they can recognize me. Yes.
That is
So
powerful.
yeah, it's been amazing, and it's amazing how one choice
Mm.
can lead to everything you've ever wanted. It all
Absolutely.
starts with one step, just one step of courage, one small, tiny grain of courage.
Mm.
And it builds up and it builds up.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is so powerful. And I'm celebrating you because this is huge. And remember how our conversation started. Our conversation started something which looked very and seemed very dark, gloomy, not wanting to live. And on the other side, I did it. The courage, the brave, I faced my fears. Fears are not going anywhere. Fears will always be there. But my courage to face those fears is so high at this point of time. Your family, you, and people recognize you. You're writing your second book. I am so in awe of this moment that it is so beautiful. Thank you so much, Kavinga, for taking out time today, speaking to us about your journey, about your book. One last question I have for you. Somebody who is still struggling to come above the line, what are your final thoughts? How they can find you, where they can find your book, how they can order? Is there some way to get in touch with you? What is one advice or book, your book, you would give it to people?
Ah, yes.
All about you.
Oh, all about me. I thought, yes. Yes. How you can find me is via Facebook using my name, Kabinga Mazaba. I'm on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn, everywhere. And how you can get hold of my book is everywhere. When you Google my name, it's going to come up. You can find it on Amazon, Booktopia, now, Dimox. I think it's everywhere online. Once you search Confront, Reclaim Your Life or Kabinga Mazava, it's going to pop up. And one piece of advice that I can leave with everyone is one of my favorite quote. I just say, life is a journey, or I'm going to give you one of Maya Angelou's quotes, which is one of my favorite books and quotes, and why I even put it in my book. Each of us has that right, that possibility to invent ourselves daily. If a person does not invent herself, she will be invented. So it is audacious enough to invent ourselves wisely. So each of us has that right, that possibility to become whatever we want to become. The only way we can do that is just to have that courage, master that courage, have the determination, have the willpower, and love yourself enough to look at yourself and say, I really want to change my life. I really want to achieve that. And the only way you can achieve that is when you become the hero of your story. Love you, embrace you, live you, acknowledge you, transform you. And when you do self transformation, it's the magic that anyone can love. Whatever challenges come, you've got yourself, you got your back, and everything is secondary. Love you, forgive, let go. That's it.
Oh, I couldn't stop myself. I did. And I just had to share the hearts. That is so beautiful, Kavinga. There were so many learnings in this episode. And I can't express enough how grateful I am that you are here sharing all about you. It takes a lot of courage. Love you, embrace you, just be there for you is such a strong message. And I'm inspired. Thank you so much. And I wish you all the best for your future endeavors, your book. We can't wait to have your second book and again host you for your second book. And thank you for the wonderful gift. Confront, reclaim your life. Every chapter is significant enough to inspire. Every chapter has a piece which deeply resonates with your heart. So thank you for this beautiful gift. We wish you all the very best. You are a daily life hero.
Yeah,
You're inspiring so many lives, and you are helping me touch more and inspire 1 million people by 2030. Thank you so much.
you are welcome. Yeah, take a good shot. Yeah,
Take a good shot. I love that.
yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
amazing. Thank you so much, Lakshmi. Yeah, it's been a pleasure, and you're my girl. You know that. So
Thank,
always, always having fun. Yeah, always.
thank you so much and wish you all the best. Love you
Oh,
and see you very soon.
yeah, talk to you. Bye.